All right. Well, thank you, students. We're going to continue right on now as we're moving through Manufacturing Day and meeting all our local manufacturers here in the area. So I would like to introduce our next manufacturer now. She comes to us from TSE Industries, and she's going to share a little bit about her company, her journey in manufacturing, what she does at TSE Industries, why she decided to get into manufacturing, what drew her to manufacturing, a little bit about what they do, and what the career opportunities look like for students or for adults that are, entering the workforce, changing careers. There's a lot of opportunity out there, so she'll go into a little bit about that. But I would like to introduce Michelle Hintz-Prange, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I've seen it so many times, I haven't pronounced it that many times, but thank you so much, Michelle, for joining us today.
Thank you, Beth, and hi, everybody. Good morning. How's my volume?
Sounds great.
Okay, great. I'm really, really excited. I told Beth when she asked me to do this, I said absolutely, because this is really one of the my favorite things that I get to do is kind of encourage students that there are a lot of awesome career paths for you. And so what do I do here? I am the Human Resources Manager. So Human Resources, a lot of you have probably heard of it, but we're involved in, we call it the entire employee life cycle. So we're involved before you even start with us. We're setting up your interviews, and then if you get hired, we are doing your onboarding and orientation, getting you comfortable with our company. And then while you're here, we work with everything regarding your payroll, your company benefits, your performance, any type of problems you might have. I have to deal with discipline. I have to deal with exciting things like 20-year anniversaries with the company. And then, I also deal with if employees need to be let go or if they retire. So human resources, it's a lot of fun. It's a very, very diverse field, and no 2 days are ever the same. But, and I've been here for 23 years. We are a local manufacturing company, and we've been in business for over 60 years. And right now, the third generation of the family who started us in the 1960s is running the business. And for me, the beauty of a family-owned company is that you truly feel like you're part of not just the company, but the family. You get to know the owners. And for me, if I know who I'm really putting so much effort in toward, I can put a face to the name, it just motivates me even more. I do want to talk about the awesome, manufacturing is an awesome career choice, whether you are looking to go to college, whether you are looking to go to technical school, whether you are looking for just a couple industry-specific certifications, or even if you don't want to do any schooling at all and you want to just go right from high school to the workforce. We hire all four of those type of employees, and they all do very well here. The beauty of manufacturing is oftentimes you can get a job without any experience. Here, we hire a lot of people with no experience, and we have a really, really good training program. So what do I look for in somebody who has no experience? Attitude. Attitude, I always tell our managers that, you can train for skills and technical abilities, but you can't train somebody to have a good attitude. That person has to want to have a good attitude and want to come in with a positive attitude, showing up on time every day. Just like with school, if you're tardy too much at school, you get a demerit or maybe a detention. Very similar in employment. If you're tardy, we say more than once or twice a week, you're going to get a written warning. First, your manager will verbally warn you, but attendance and attitude will get you everywhere. Some of the for example, right out of high school, some of the careers that a high school graduate would qualify for would be a chemical operator in our facility. They start at $17 an hour with no experience. We have a machine operator availability. We have warehouse positions where you would learn how to use a forklift and move materials throughout and so forth. And we also, as I said, we hire anybody from, we have people on our team who have a PhD degree. We have a PhD chemist. We have people with master's degrees. We have people with bachelor's degrees. So really, any field, most fields, major business fields, that if you are going to college, for example, human resources, there are plenty of human resources jobs in manufacturing, accounting, finance, purchasing, engineering. If you are interested in engineering, there are always good jobs in engineering. We hire chemical engineers, electrical engineers, manufacturing engineers. So it's manufacturing is just, it's a really, really good place to start and really end a career, because we always offer a really good benefits package. And when you're younger, insurance and 401k retirement savings plan, they don't mean as much. But as you move forward and progress in your career, you realize that, oh my gosh, I want to start a family, or I want to start going to the doctor on a regular basis, or get my teeth taken care of. Then benefits become really, really important. I'm wondering should I stop for questions? I have plenty to discuss. It's totally
Okay.
up to you. I want to
We
best
do have a
serve you
few
guys.
questions that came in, Michelle. And I also want to remind everyone, as you're coming in with your new classes or just joining us, please list in the chat what class you're joining us with, what school you're from, what particular class, how many students you have. We're trying to get an idea of throughout the day how many students that we're reaching. And or if you're a community partner, a BAMA member, and you're just joining because you're interested in manufacturing, please let us know what company you're with, where you're from, and what your interest is in manufacturing. Also, if you can list your bell schedule so we get an idea of when you're joining us and when you have to leave us, that will be helpful to us as well. But we have gotten a few questions, and Michelle, York Innovation Academy, they would like to know how you keep your employees safe, and if there's been any incidences, and how you deal with those types of safety issues.
That's a very good question. In manufacturing, safety is the most important thing, period. Nothing comes before safety. So how do we keep our employees safe? Every new employee who comes in, before they're even allowed to start their job or even go out and look on the production floor, they have to complete rigorous safety training. A lot of it is digital, computer-based, and we do safety training from everything from protecting your hearing, protecting your eyes, wearing gloves if you're handling hot materials, how to properly drive a forklift, what to look out for, when to wear a hard hat. So we are safety is driven into every day, every single thing we do. Every department has daily pre-shift, right before they start working, safety meetings, and topics will be brought up, or hazards. We have safety committees, which are employee-led, and every division has their own safety committee, because having more eyes than just, a couple safety people walking around every day, the employees are the eyes too. And they could say, hey, I saw a wire that didn't look right, or hey, I saw a puddle on the floor, somebody's gonna fall, anything like that. The safety training really lasts about 2 full days. And it's, like I said, it's very rigorous. And not only do employees have to complete their safety training when they're new, but every year on our hire date, our anniversary date, we have to complete the safety training all over again. So safety is, it's always going to be right in the forefront of our mind. And then the other part of the question of, have we had any serious injuries? Yeah. Unfortunately, things happen in manufacturing. You can train people and provide all the right tools, but if an employee violates a safety policy or rule, or doesn't wear the proper protection that they're supposed to when they're operating a machine or handling chemicals or driving a forklift, yeah, people are going to get hurt. You know, I've seen an employee cut his finger off, horrible. You know, people get burned if they're not, you know, paying attention or wearing, and really, the injuries occur when employees are not following the proper procedure. So that's why every day we drive it home, safety, safety, safety.
That's extremely important. And it's great that you have those initiatives and committees in place. So safety, extremely important in manufacturing. Michelle, they also want to know what salary range, what is the salary range for, in particular, your engineers?
Oh, very good question. We bring in engineers out of college. They start around 60,000 per year. And, you know, when we hire an engineer maybe who has 5 years of experience, they might be making closer to 80,000 per year. So it's a good career. And then chemical manufacturing is always going to pay a little bit higher. It's one of the most rigorous college programs, I understand. I've never completed it. That, you know, some very young chemical engineers right out of college might start at 70,000 per year.
Great salaries. And how young do you hire? Can you remind us?
We are 18 and above only, unfortunately, just because we are a manufacturing plant. We do have chemicals and dangerous heavy equipment, so it's 18 and above.
Okay, and that question came from Eastlake High School. So welcome back, Eastlake. Thank you for continuing with us today. From York Innovation Academy, do you use any robots in your line of work?
Oh, we most certainly do. Our newest robot we're very, very proud of is in our CNC machine shop. And it's used to be an arm, actually, because the process before we got the robot required a person to stand in front of a machine and move a piece from here to here to here to here to here all day long. Well, that was a skilled machinist who went to school for machining, so we weren't using his skills properly. So what do? We purchased a robot arm, which does that task for him, so he can work on the more exciting work, because that's not fun. If you're a skilled machinist, you love making parts and using your creativity, and so we try to make sure that all of our people get to use their skills and get to enjoy what they're doing. So any type of routine tasks can absolutely be taken care of with the robot.
And it's interesting you say that, Michelle. I hear a lot, you know, that robotics and automation are going to be taking jobs away, but it's really the opposite. They're actually creating more skilled jobs. Can you go into detail on that a little bit?
Absolutely, and I completely agree that I hear it all the time that, oh my gosh, the robots are going to take away my job, or the automation is going to take away my job. No, that's not true, because first of all, there are usually never enough people to fill all of the roles in manufacturing across the United States. So I don't believe that manufacturing will ever be filled and not accepting any more applicants. I cannot imagine that. We're always finding really creative ways to find people to apply for our jobs. So manufacturing, there's always going to be work. What AI and robotics and automation do is, just like Beth said, they make our job easier, and they allow the people we hire to actually use the skills that they went to school for, or the skills that, you know, that are fun to them. Routine work is not fun for people who like to use their mind and their skills and experience. So no, I do not think that it's going to take our jobs away. If it takes jobs away, it's the jobs that people don't want to do anyway. Like I said, I don't want to do this for 8 hours, right? I just don't. Plus, it would probably make your shoulder sore. So
exactly.
I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. Great points. We have a few more questions coming in. What types of parts do your machines make?
Oh, good question. We're very unique. All of the parts that we make in our machine shop are made from some type of plastic. Where most machine shops you're working with metal or wood, we do 100% plastic. It could be a really hard nylon material. It could be a softer plastic. When you think of plastic, before I entered manufacturing, I thought, well, it's just plastic. No, 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 no. There are hundreds of grades and types, and the customers order it depending on what their need is. And we have engineers here who will custom create parts based on a customer's blueprint. So we make things like really small gears for perhaps for a like the beverage and bottling and canning industry. We make anything as small as a couple inch diameter part to a large 9-foot by 6-foot sheet of plastic, which we cut out like puzzle pieces, and they fit together to make an indoor or backyard ice skating rink. And the reason we had a retired NHL hockey player come to us saying, we need a solution for southern states. There's no ice, where we can't go to a lake, we can't put an ice rink in our backyard like they can in the northern states. So we helped them, our engineers helped come up with a material that really, really is very similar to ice. It's called glice, and it's our signature product. And we sell it, like I said, we sell it in big, large 9 feet by 6 foot sheets. And depending on the size of the ice rink, we might be shipping 50 sheets of that to somebody to build their own glice rink. That's pretty
fascinating.
Yeah.
It's extremely fascinating. Yes. Has anyone gone and been on a local ice rink? That's extremely exciting. So I kind of miss that. I'm from up north, and I don't really like the cold weather. So that's a great alternative to actually be able to do that and it not be cold weather outside. So fascinating product. That is really interesting to know. And I want to mention to anyone coming into the webinar, please introduce yourself in the chat, where you're from, and what your interest is in manufacturing. We are taking questions in the chat, or you can ask the questions directly. That's up to you. So we have lots of questions coming in for Michelle from Eastlake High School. How much do some of the machines or robots cost?
Very good question. They're pretty expensive. They can cost anywhere from, if you get a very, very simple one, it might be $30,000 up to $3 million. I believe the robotic arm that we have in our machine shop was maybe $250,000.
Okay, and do you have robotic engineers who are specifically hired to maintain or work with the robots?
Yes, we do. They don't solely work on the robots, but we do hire, and they're part of our maintenance team, our building maintenance. So we hire industrial maintenance mechanics, and we hire them with, in this department, absolutely, they need to have some type of robotic maintenance, engineering background. Perhaps in another division, our engineer would need to have more electrical knowledge because they're doing more electricity. So yes, we absolutely, and the robots, they have to be maintained very, very well because it's a very expensive piece of equipment, and we don't want somebody who is unskilled opening it up and breaking it.
Yep, that makes sense. It's expensive machinery, so you definitely want to make sure that they're trained to be able to work on those products. There's a couple more questions. How many parts do you typically make in a year?
Oh my goodness. We have several divisions. So if I just looked at our machine shop, several 100,000 parts are custom made and shipped out every year from that division. We have another division, which is our chemical division. So that product is liquid. It's actually hot melt adhesive, really hot glue that we're selling in large 55-gallon drums. A lot to the automotive industry. They use the glue to, like, for the rear view mirror on your window and to keep the fabric on the inside of the roof, things like that. So, and there, like, we could ship out millions of pounds every year because that goes by pounds and gallons, of course. But yeah, company-wide, all of our divisions are constantly shipping out product. So if I had to company-wide, if I, considered pounds and parts and so forth, over 1 million every year.
And how long have you been doing this, Michelle?
Oh my goodness. Well, I've been in HR, I'll age myself. I've been in HR since 1996. And so I've been doing it a really long time. And for TSE in particular, I've been here for 23 years. It's crazy, I know. But you don't want to leave because it's always exciting. We're always doing something new. No 2 days are the same. And people in manufacturing are amazing. Everybody is just down to earth, hardworking, happy to be here. And I pride myself in just, showing employees how appreciated they are every single day.
And is that pretty common as far as, with your employees? What's the longest an employee has been with TSE?
Oh my goodness, Gary just celebrated 45 years.
Oh my gosh.
Month.
Yes.
And
what does he do?
Pardon?
And can you explain to the students what his role is?
Yes, so Gary started as a CNC machinist 4 decades ago. He then worked his way up to become a lead machinist, and then he was promoted as a supervisor, promoted to, and then he was the production manager for the entire machine shop, and then he decided he wanted to try sales, so he became a sales manager, and now he is the vice president of sales and operations. So he not only works to bring in new customers to buy our products, but he's also running the people who run the product. He's managing the people who run the actual production, the people who actually make our products. So it's a really cool success story. And he came in with a high school degree and a machining certificate from a technical college.
That is a great success story.
Yeah.
And it's very typical in manufacturing. I've heard that a lot.
Oh my gosh, yes. We always try to promote from within before we advertise a job outside of the company, because our employees, they want to grow. And if we don't grow them, they'll leave and go to another employer who will help them grow and make more money and become more responsible. So there are a lot, like Beth said, a lot of promotion opportunities within manufacturing. If you come in with a good attitude, you pay attention, you listen to your trainer, you follow the rules, you can have a really, really successful career in manufacturing.
Absolutely. And how many employees do you have?
Right now we have 270, and we're all within the Clearwater area. We have 7 different buildings within a 1-mile radius in Clearwater that all of our employees work out of. We don't do any remote work. We're 100% on site. And yeah, our employees are amazing.
We just lost the last couple of things you said, Michelle. Somehow we lost your...
Can you hear me?
There we go.
Okay. So sorry about that. Oh my goodness, I lost my train of thought. The employees, yes, we have 270 or 80 employees, and I think I was saying that we consider that we have 280 family members.
That's wonderful. And what are some of the things that you do as far as, to give back to the employees or your employees benefit program? What does that look like?
Oh, absolutely. We have a well-being committee. It's made up of employees that represent all of our departments. And we bring a lot of well-being, fun activities to employees. We might do a beach cleanup one month. We might do a heart walk for heart health awareness the next. We might have a little volleyball tournament or a kickball tournament. We bring in like dermatologists to do skin cancer screenings. We do lunch and learns where we provide lunch to employees, and we bring in speakers from anything to financial wellness to healthy eating. So we really try to take care of our employees because it starts here. And we also have a very important mission of giving back to our community. So TSE and the Klingle family who owns TSE, we give back hundreds of thousands of dollars every year to charities in our area. So it's really important, I think, and for me, personally, it's really important to work for an employer who wants to make the world a better place. Because isn't that what it's all about?
Absolutely. That's a big part of it. And it just also creates the camaraderie with employees to be doing something together, something positive, and creates those great relationships. You know, I worked in manufacturing. I was telling the students prior to being in this role, and you know, just the camaraderie with your fellow employees is fantastic.
Absolutely. We spend a lot of time with our coworkers, so we want to get along with them. And we know that employees spend more time here at work than they do with their families. And so we need to make it as enjoyable as possible. We still have a
Absolutely.
job to do, but we can do it with a smile and with joy.
Yes. And one of our key points in BAMA is make collaboration fun. So make work fun. You know, why not? You have to enjoy what you're doing. So it makes
Absolutely.
it better. And a big part of, you know, being in the workforce is, you know, your direct supervisors, your boss, your colleagues, just being with the right people just makes a job so much more enjoyable. Speaking from experience and in manufacturing, like you said, down to earth, when I first got into this role with the Bay Area Manufacturers Association, being in my first board meeting, you know, just realizing how intelligent and, you know, but not only intelligent and serious, but also fun the manufacturers were. And now I've been doing this almost 5 years. So if you want to be with fun, creative people, manufacturing is the place to be for sure. And we
Yes,
do have another question from the students. So they want to know how much you gross annually.
absolutely. Our company grosses about $75 million annually. And our goal is to be a $100 million sales company. So we'll get there.
Absolutely. And how much of your manufacturing is manual versus automated?
That's a great question. If I had to think of percentage, probably at this point, 60% manual, 40% automated. However, some of the automation does require some manual work, of course. Somebody has to look at the PLCs, which are programmable logic controls that you may have learned about. Somebody has to maintain and manage that. Somebody has to, you know, get the material from where it's at right now to the robot area and so forth. So, but the more we're working on every year, we become more and more automated, and that just makes us better. It makes us more efficient, and it keeps our employees happier because, like I said earlier, they get to focus on the fun stuff, not the manual work of their job.
And speaking of automation, how does the company stay up to date with industry trends and innovations?
Oh, that's a must in manufacturing. So all of our sales and operations teams most of them are a member of, you know, BAMA is a wonderful resource, and us as a full company, we're a member of BAMA. So BAMA provides resources, monthly events, training opportunities. It's an awesome opportunity. And then other, one of our, the person who manages the warehouse, he would be involved in another organization that focuses on exactly what he does. I myself am a member of two HR organizations so that I can keep my knowledge and skills up to date. So it's very, very important. You can never just get comfortable, and what we say, we just never stop learning. You just can't stop learning.
Absolutely. And what are some of the different departments? When you think of manufacturing, you think of engineering, you think of machine operators, but really, like any company, manufacturing companies have a variety of different departments.
Absolutely. So we have our specialty chemicals department, which I told you about, where we mostly make hot melt adhesives. So that's a liquid product pretty much that we're shipping out. We have a medical device division where we do medical device assembly, and we make medical tubing, like the tubing that might be used for a catheter, or like an IV if you're in the hospital or at the doctor's office. We're even right now working on a type of medical grade plastic to replace metal needles, which that's a really, really cool. It's not up and off the ground yet, but it's in the R&D, research and development stage right now. I talked a lot about our machine shop, so you know that division. And then we also have a rubber division where we do rubber molding and rubber milling. In that division, we do a lot of rubber belts. Like if you can picture the belt on, a car or a vacuum cleaner, perhaps, rubber belt. Our rubber products go into ATM machines. And now ATM machines are kind of dying because of online banking and so forth. So that's a perfect example of manufacturing. You have to stay ahead, otherwise you'll fall behind. So we knew that, okay, the ATM business is not going to be around forever. We need to start focusing on other areas that we have expertise in, which we've done. So it keeps us, it just keeps us competitive, and it keeps all of our people employed.
And that's an important thing to remember, is just knowing how to make those changes, just looking at the market and being proactive. So extremely important to be able to do that. Another item that's been in the news is supply chain. Over the past few years, there's been a lot of disruptions. How do you ensure a reliable supply chain for your raw materials that you're using?
That's a great question. And yes, the supply chain issue absolutely affected us during COVID. China was kind of in shutdown, and we get some raw materials that go into our products from China. Thankfully, we don't receive a lot from China, so that the U.S. was well open. But the key is to be diverse. You can never have all your eggs in one basket, meaning you can not only have one vendor who can supply you with whatever material you need to make your products. Because if that one vendor goes out of business or isn't allowed to ship because they're in China, or something they just ran out of product, that would put our manufacturing at a stop. So it's really, really important to have as many vendors as you can for wherever you're buying from.
That's very important. Thank you, Michelle. And I want to remind all the classes that we are taking questions. We're taking your questions. So our manufacturers are here today to be able to answer those questions that you have. They're very busy running their companies every day. So we appreciate the time they're taking out to be with us. And this is a great opportunity. If you have a burning question you've always wanted to know, now is the time to ask. So you can ask directly. Just take yourself off of mute and go ahead and ask your question, or you can type it right in the chat box. So we have a question from Dunedin. Could individuals get a custom-made piece out of acrylic?
Yes, they could. Absolutely. We have customers who come in and ask for one product, one piece of one product, or they ask for us to run 100 pieces or 1,000 pieces of the same product. So absolutely. Usually a customer will come to us with some type of blueprint or drawing. And then we would work with our internal engineers and our CAD operators, if you're familiar, that's computer-aided design, who would actually translate the blueprint into a CNC program to run on our CNC machines.
And we were talking a little bit about raw materials. Dunedin would also like to know how and where do you get your raw materials?
Very good question. Depending on the industry, our raw materials come from all over the U.S. A lot of our chemical ingredients come from Japan, India. I think we get some from Canada and from the U.S. Our plastic products mostly come from the U.S. and some come from Germany. Our medical device, everything is made in the U.S. The plastic glice sheets, the ice skating sheets that I talked about, that's mostly U.S. based and a little bit of, I want to say Switzerland. So we're kind of all over the place.
And who,
go
ahead.
Oh, the same is true with our customers. We have customers right next door, right down the street, and then we have customers all the way across the world. So yeah, we're very, very international.
Wonderful. And how do you deal with the waste from the plastics?
Oh, good question. We regrind it and make the plastic sheets that I was telling you about that are used for ice skating rinks. So it's a repurposed, reground, and some of the scrap can be used to make smaller parts as well. So we definitely try to reuse and recycle all that we can, but reuse more than recycle even.
Very important. Great question. These are awesome questions coming in. Another question from Dunedin High School is, what are some of the products your customers use the material they purchase from TSE for?
Very good question. So our CNC machined parts, they can be used, they might be a long plastic conveyor belt guide. And Coca-Cola is one of our customers, so they would use it in their bottling plants to kind of keep the bottles from bouncing around too much. Plastic is a good material. They've determined plastic to be a really good material to not damage the bottles. Busch Gardens has been a customer of ours, roller coaster parts. That's exciting, and Disney as well in the past. So a lot of companies are replacing metal gears with hard plastic gears just because of the wear property. I'm not sure if metal would be more expensive to maintain. I'm not sure. But we do a lot of gears and things like that in our machine shop. In our rubber division, I already talked about those are the ATM parts. Our medical division, that is usually tubing that is touching a human body in some way, either catheter, IV, and so forth. And then our chemical manufacturing division, we mostly sell to automotive. So, not only, as I mentioned earlier, holding the glue that holds the fabric on the inside of the vehicle, also recreational vehicles, anything that needs to be attached and not screwed or nailed on, they can usually use our products.
And Michelle, the difference between a product that is for medical, what additional quality assurances do you need to produce that part? Or do you need a clean room environment? What does that look like?
Yes, we need a clean room environment. So we have an FDA certified clean room, and all of our employees who work in that department have to gown up, meaning they're in a full white, not like a hazmat, but like just a full white gown from head to toe, shoe coverings, gloves, everything. And the clean room has to be certified, I think on a weekly or biweekly basis, where an external company has to come in and test the air, measure the pressure, measure the humidity. Humidity is very important in medical. So it's very, very rigorous from a quality and just a preventive kind of standpoint.
Another question that came in is what are the salary differences between a CNC operator and an engineer?
Very good question. So if you came to TSE as a CNC machinist, you probably would have completed probably like an 18-month program at a technical school. You would probably come in making anywhere from $21 to $24 per hour, and as a brand new entry level. And if you were an engineer, normally that's a 4-year college degree, and there you would come in probably starting at $60,000 per year. So $60,000 per year, I know I'm talking hourly and salary, $60,000 per year is about $29 to $30 an hour. If you ever want to know the hourly wage of a salary, just divide the salary by 2,080.
Okay, good to know. I'm going to mark that down. Good to know. Good information. And what, do you have a position that's hardest to fill? This was a question that was asked earlier. But is there a position that it's just something that's in demand that you need, but it's a little harder to fill?
Yes. Yes, that is our electromechanical technician. Now, what is that, you ask? That is we need somebody who has taken classes, not even necessarily a 4-year degree, but classes in PLCs, which are programmable logic controls, and anything surrounding automation. It's very, very difficult to find the right person because a lot of companies are hiring because automation is just booming. So that is a really, really good field. If you like, working with electricity and flow of how processes flow, if you're good with your hands, you're mechanical, if you enjoy, a little bit of computer work and so forth, that's a really good career. And that would be another position that would probably start at $25 an hour.
Okay. So now you all know what to study and what to go into. You're getting the details here, the behind the scenes, and it's always good to know what positions are in demand, what's out there. So that gives you an idea of what you should focus on. And if a student is interested in applying, do you have any type of internships that you do? Or, and also how would they go about the process of applying to work at your company?
Absolutely. We're very open to internships. We love to partner with students and schools. So the easiest way, our website address is very short for the jobs. It's www.tse, that's T as in Tom, S as in Sam, E.jobs. TSE.jobs. And all of our current job postings are listed there. And there's also a contact us button on the website. If you ever have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them for you. And I also want to mention that we talked a lot about the trades, the machining. That is definitely also a very, very good field to get into, because people are not going to school for machining like they did 20 or 30 years ago. So that is a very, very solid future, good opportunity, as well as industrial maintenance mechanics. We are always shorthanded and looking for good maintenance people.
Hey, that is great information to know. And I see there's some activity going on with the classes. So I think some are coming in, some may be leaving. Are you okay for a few more minutes with us, Michelle?
Absolutely.
Okay. For the classes that may be just joining us, please don't forget, introduce yourself in the chat, what school you're with, what class, how many students you have with you, also all your questions. So you can come off of mute, ask your questions directly, or ask some questions right in the chat, and we will be sure to address them. We're here today to answer all your burning questions about manufacturing. So come on, give us those questions. We want to hear from you and hear what you're interested in, or even if some of the students want to talk a little bit about what you're learning, what some of your favorite subjects are, or the teachers, what you're teaching your students and what their favorite subjects and those things might happen to be. So we want this to be pretty engaging. So please feel free. Just let us know if you have any questions, and we'll make sure that we address them for you. And as far as with manufacturing goes, manufacturing is an industry that we're always looking for a skilled workforce, or even entry level. So if it interests you, we do want to get you out to those manufacturing companies so that you can learn what they do and see what's available here in the area. So does anyone have any questions at this time?
Beth, I did see one question about air, how we keep air quality, air filtration for our facility. Yes, I would love to answer that question. We absolutely, because we're a chemical manufacturing company, we work very closely with the EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency, and very, very closely. So our outgoing air quality is constantly monitored, as well as our indoor air quality for our people, of course, which is the most important thing. We monitor the air quality inside the building as well. And then in our plastics facility, yeah, there's a lot of plastic dust that can be flying around and so forth. So we have automated ventilation, actually, that is attached to each machine. So the dust and the debris gets sucked right from the machine to an outside dumpster. And of course, there's a wonderful filtration system in the meanwhile. We totally understand our importance of keeping, not only our people safe, but the entire environment. And we take it very, very seriously.
And, many times when you think about manufacturing, you are thinking of maybe a dirty facility, or, lots of smoke coming out. But if you come and see our local manufacturers and TSE in particular, it is just a very clean facility. Everything is bright. It's a great environment to work in. So our local manufacturers really take that into consideration to make sure it's a great working environment. And again, being able to enjoy the work that you do, and to be in a great environment with a great staff, great leadership. So those are some of the benefits to working in manufacturing, and just that career path that you also have, and working in different departments. And like Michelle said, she's in the HR department. So, TSE has various departments. We spoke about the different product lines, but I'm sure there's a marketing department. And how does a marketing department for a manufacturer, how do they work? Or what is their focus, and how do they accomplish their goals?
Very good question. Yes, we do have a marketing department. We have a marketing specialist, and he is in charge of 12 social media sites. We have 3 separate divisions that we highlight separately on 4 different social media sites: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, I got the name wrong, right? And Instagram. So he's busy doing that. He also keeps our website up to date with any kind of new innovations, new information, new blog information. And he also does paper brochures if needed, like if our salespeople are going to a trade show or visiting customers. He will also in charge of ordering like marketing materials, whether it be a water bottle with our logo on it or something. So marketing is a really, really fun job in manufacturing. He gets to put a hard hat on and put his steel-toed shoes on and go on the floor and take pictures of the machines and the processes, and yeah, he has a lot of fun.
So there's a lot of different opportunities in manufacturing, and that's what I did when I was in a manufacturing company. I was the marketing manager, so I had to take what the engineers were saying and then make it understandable for our sales team and our clients and our customers. So to take, something that's very intricate and detailed and then make it easy to understand. So that's a fun job, and it's a little bit technology, and then it's just a little bit creative too. So there's so many opportunities in manufacturing. And like we said, we are, hosting in-person tours this month to various manufacturing companies. So we're going to be seeing a lot of you live and in person. So that's a great way to find out a little bit more even about manufacturers. And Michelle, what are some valuable lessons that you may have learned throughout your years in manufacturing? And what's some advice you would give to the students that are preparing for their careers?
I think, as I mentioned earlier, have a good attitude. Work is called work for a reason. It's not called play. It's not called fun. It is still work, but you find a company you enjoy with, a manager you enjoy working for, and just bring your best self to work every day. Because so many people do not do that, and they don't really succeed. The people who do that, they're like a shining star, and they get promoted, they make more money, they get better opportunities. So I would say just bring your best self, absolutely, and, show up with a purpose, that you're there to, whether you're our custodian who's sweeping the floor and he's taken so much pride in it because he's keeping it safe, because now when I walk through there, I'm not going to fall because there are plastic chips on the ground. So whatever your role is in your career, and you'll have many different roles throughout your career, bring your full self, your awesome self. You're not going to have a good day every day, but just try to bring your best self. And as far as, some students they're really interested in, okay, what career will help me make the most money? I always say follow your passion, and then the money follows, because you're always going to be more successful at something you enjoy doing versus something you don't. I had a friend say, I want to go into accounting and finance because I think they make a lot of money. I said, oh, okay, you can work with numbers all day long, spreadsheets. That would be like my worst job. And my friend, then they kind of changed and said, well, maybe I'll just do like a general business degree, because you have to do what you enjoy. Otherwise, you're not really going to be good at it, right? And sometimes it'll take a couple tries. It doesn't mean the first job you take that you'll be stuck with it if you're not happy. You find what makes you happy, and then give it your all and succeed. And I know that you all have the ability to do that, because if I can do it, anyone can do it.
And those are words of wisdom, and that will help you no matter what you're doing in your career, in your personal life, pretty much words to live by. And so, Michelle, what exciting projects or developments can we expect from your company in the near future? Is there anything new and innovative coming up? And how do you envision the future of manufacturing, and what role do you see TSE playing in that future?
Awesome. Yes, we do have, the one exciting product I mentioned was replacing a metal needle for blood draws with a medical grade plastic that we're working on right now, developing. So that's kind of in the research and development stages, working with a potential customer, and that can change medicine, because they say it'll be a lot less painful to have that type of material used for a blood draw. So that's exciting. Another one in our medical division that also is working in tandem with our machine shop, so we have two of our divisions working on one product, is it's called a unifuge, and it's a single-use Centrifuge, what is that? A centrifuge is kind of a medical device machine that can filter blood or other fluids. So the parts that we're making will go on the patient's bedside in a hospital. So it'll be much, much more convenient. The patient won't have to be transported somewhere to try the machine in this other room. So we like to think of it as we're making people's lives more comfortable, and that's really exciting. And what else is exciting? We have a couple other potential customers. Oh, another amusement park for our CNC machined parts. And also working with the U.S. Department of Transportation on road striping paint in our chemical division. So, and that has to be very, very, very high withstanding, because it has a million cars driving over it, and there's a lot of research and development, a lot of brain work, not from me, from our smart people. So yeah, those are just some exciting things. It's always something in manufacturing. It's always something, and it's cool.
It is. I'm always fascinated with, when you think it's a simple part, and to find out what goes into making that, or what requirements do you need to actually produce that part. It's so fascinating. We'd like to welcome back Countryside High School and Eastlake High. So welcome back. We have Michelle from TS Industries still with us. And if you have any questions, if the students have questions, we have her for just a few more minutes. So please feel free to come off of mute, ask your questions, or ask them in the chat. So that you can get your questions answered and find out about this fantastic local company. They've been members and been a collaborator with our association for a very long time, and really TSE supports the community in so many ways. So we really appreciate your partnership, your collaboration, and your willingness to give back to the students, and in your willingness to dedicate your time today to spend with us and our local schools. I will remind you to, if you haven't done so, please introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know how many students you have with you, what class you're with. We really want to get a good idea of who we have with us and how many students we're reaching today. Because our goal is to really talk about manufacturing and make sure you thoroughly understand what manufacturing is and what careers are available to you as you're entering the workforce. It's really exciting to think about, right now, the emerging technologies that are coming out. So it's so exciting for you students to see what these technologies are, and then becoming proficient in them and just moving our manufacturers ahead even further. So it's an exciting time to be in manufacturing, and exciting for you as students entering the workforce. Michelle, as we're coming to a close on your time today, do you have any parting words that you'd like to leave the students with?
Yes, thank you. I really want to reiterate that manufacturing, yes, it's an awesome career with, so many different paths that you could take. And I also want to reiterate that it's not just for non-college bound people, college bound people. You can get a job in manufacturing right out of high school. You can go to technical school and, become a trades person, a machinist, a maintenance mechanic, so forth. You could take a few industry certification classes if you wanted to work in, IT or another creative department. Or you can get your 4-year degree and become an engineer, or you could become an HR person, a multitude of any career. So it's really, I just really highly recommend that you consider it. Like I said, I've been in manufacturing for 23 years now, and I can't imagine working in another field. It's awesome. The people are great. There are awesome opportunities to get promoted and to take good money home, good benefits, and a good future.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time with us today.